What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video, another random rambling. And today I'm happy to be joined by my buddy over at Cinematic Tendency. How's it going, my friend?
Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Anthony. Happy Sunday, everyone.
Happy Sunday, man. Happy Sunday. I appreciate you joining me. You have been here on the channel before. For anybody who is not familiar, we've covered a few movies together, like a Disney Channel original movie called Eddie's $1 Million Cook-Off, Next with Nicolas Cage, and somewhat recently we did The Dark Knight Rises. He also joined me before in live streams for things like WandaVision. But it's been a while since we've had just like a straight up live stream discussion. But before we get too far into this, as I typically like to say, the link to my guest is going to be down below in the description box. So go give him some love and let him know I sent you. I don't know if you just froze on me though, right here at the start. Can you
Yeah.
hear me okay?
Oh, yeah, yeah. I've been hearing you, but you're frozen and I'm frozen.
All right, cool. Yeah, you're frozen on my screen.
But
So
I can
that's
I can I
lovely.
can hear you just fine. The sound it didn't get interrupted at all. It's
All
just
right.
that
Well,
it's just the image. Yeah.
yeah, all right. Well, hopefully it clears up because that sucks since we just started. But I'm gonna assume that it's an issue with the live stream for a second, but it says our connection's okay. So hopefully that clears up. If not, this is gonna be a very interesting episode of Random Rambling. But you said you can hear me okay just fine, right?
Oh, yeah, yeah. So right now it is a podcast.
Yeah, it's essentially just a podcast at this moment. This is happening on the fly, so we're just gonna roll with it. So hey man, listen, I like to always start these off by asking a very similar question of just like what got you started on your path with doing YouTube. Of course, you mainly cover movies, but you do a lot of unboxings of a lot of action figures and different things like that. So yeah, I'm just curious what got you started, what made you click that start channel on YouTube and start uploading videos.
All right. What it made me like, well, it took about 2 years for me to actually, you know, click that that button. And actually before then, before my YouTube channel, I didn't have a Gmail account. So the only thing, so I was like, you know what, I want to start a YouTube channel at some point. So yeah, it took me about 2 years, and I just couldn't do it. I mean, I was like, I don't know how to edit. I don't know. I don't have this. I don't have that. I don't know how to do this or that. So finally, I was, you know what? I'm just gonna go for it. And and I was like, I don't know if this thing is gonna work or not, but if it does, like what I wanted to to accomplish was like not like to be famous, not like make money in a sense, but it was more like making money in merchandise, if that makes any sense.
Right, that makes sense. Kind of just like I find that tends to be the way that most people say they make money doing YouTube and stuff like that is that part of like, the AdSense and all that kind of stuff is its own thing, but then really honestly being able to like make merch and different things like that and sell it is definitely a good way to make money on this platform.
Oh, well, yeah, no, but by merch, and yeah, I need to rephrase it. What I meant, like, like people sending me toys for me to review, and then yeah, just keep it,
Gotcha,
just keep
gotcha.
it. So can you
Right.
imagine just getting free toys?
Yeah, well, that's kind of the perk of being able to do things like this. Lately for me, I've been able to check out some movies like early for free, which is awesome, and that's something I
Uh-huh.
always wished I'd be able to do. So kind of similarly, like I can only imagine like with all the unboxings you do, if you just got toys sent to you just for review all the time, that'd be pretty amazing. Really quickly though, I just before we continue, I did notice I pulled up the stream on my phone just to see how it's looking.
Uh-huh.
It looks like I'm moving in the stream and it's just you that's frozen.
Oh,
So, for the sake of maybe the video, I was gonna say if you want, maybe back out really quickly and jump back onto the link I sent you. I'll talk to the nice folks here for just a few minutes while you come back in. So hopefully
mm-hmm.
when you come back in, then we're both moving and everything's okay.
All right. Let me just copy and paste this link. All right. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, no sweat, man.
All right.
We're
I'll be
we're,
right.
we're doing this on the fly. This is the beauty of live streams, people. We're sitting
That's right.
here
That's
just
right.
dealing with the technological issues that we kind of face, and it's just a chill, laid back time, and you guys get to witness it all in real time.
All right.
Um,
I'll be right back.
Yeah, man. Go ahead. No worries. I'll be waiting here. I'll be talking to the kind folks on YouTube. So to anybody who is just watching this segment here, or whether you're watching it live or after the fact, just some things to expect coming up to the channel soon. Obviously, Halloween is about to end or about to come to a close of this Halloween season. There's a lot more I wanted to do on the channel this Halloween season, but unfortunately, time, working my day job, different things like that, unfortunately get in the way. I got to check out some awesome screenings on this early movie screenings this month. So there was a nice sprinkle of those throughout the course of the month for some movies that are coming, most notably on Netflix in November. But yeah, we've been slowly making our way through the Halloween franchise. I've done a couple of collabs, and I actually just filmed last night my review for Five Nights at Freddy's, the latest film coming from Blumhouse, of course, an adaptation of the video game series. And so that review will be coming onto the channel. I want to say somewhere within the next day. I don't know exactly when, maybe later today, maybe tomorrow, but that'll be out shortly. I also am currently editing my review for The Wolfman, the original 1941 film, where I'm going to be joined by my buddy, the Crosby Critic. That review will be out somewhere within the next couple of days as well. Most likely, I'm going to say by Monday. And if I'm able to do it, I already have my notes written out for Halloween 5, which is going to be the next Halloween film I will be reviewing here on the channel. And so hopefully I'll have that review up for you guys on Halloween itself. And then all of the other reviews for the Halloween franchise that I didn't get to fit into the month, I'll just be slowly kind of releasing them over the course of November, just to play a little catch up on those to wrap up that series. And then I will be getting back to the Shrek franchise before we get into the Christmas series. I only have one more film in that Shrek franchise, which is Puss in Boots: The Last Wish. Looking forward to finally checking that out because I'm super late to that party and I've heard incredible things. So that review will be coming out sometime within the next week or two as we get into November. And then once we get closer to December, I'll be, planning to do some, Christmas reviews as well as, reviews of the big things that are coming. And all right, I see now cinematic has popped back in. All right, you see me okay? You're moving all fine on my screen.
Yep, I can move.
All right. The technological issues have been fixed. All right, so we can get back to our conversation. I was just telling everybody about what to expect on the channel. But yeah, I guess I'll use this moment as well to kind of plug some stuff over on your channel. Anything you want to kind of like push people towards on your channel, any videos you recently uploaded that you want people to check out, or maybe some videos you have coming up very soon?
Most likely, I got a couple of videos. Hopefully, one later today. I wanna go. Actually, at 4 o'clock, my theater is gonna be playing The Mummy. I think it's 1933. It's in the early 30s.
Right.
Yeah, I never seen it, so I want to check it out and do like a just not necessarily a review, but just like my first general thoughts about it. So that's most likely the one I'm gonna be doing today. There's another video, an unboxing video soon. And I got another one maybe on Tuesday, probably Tuesday. I started this, I guess, series or playlist, whatever you want to call it. I got, those of you who don't know, I got 4 children, so 2 girls and 2 boys. So I started with my older son, and it's about me showing him movie trailers of movies that I love, but mainly movies that I watched when I was a kid, when I was about his age. So we did a video yesterday. I'm gonna be uploading soon, so that's gonna be our next video. It's gonna be me showing him that movie, the trailer for Out for Justice, Steven Seagal's movie, 1991. So those are like the upcoming videos that I got so far, and for in the next few days.
Awesome, man. Yeah, I look forward to those, especially like you're going to be taking a trip back to the 30s with The Mummy. I'm assuming the original with Boris Karloff, of course, who also well-known played Frankenstein in the 1931 or 32 Frankenstein. I can't remember what year it came out.
I want to say 31 or 30. Yeah, I've been watching these movies. Like my theater has been playing those in the last few weeks.
Right, I've seen that on Letterboxd. You've been logging them. Yeah.
Yeah, unfortunately, I missed Bride of Frankenstein because I thought it was gonna be like a 2-day like a 2 day showtime, and it was only one day, so I missed it. And but I have seen the other ones. Unfortunately, they are not playing the Invisible Man, which I watched your review yesterday, you and Blacktastics,
Right. Yeah.
and I was like, I mean, by your video, I mean, looks like that's a movie that I'm gonna like, but I guess I'm gonna have to watch it, at home. I don't know.
Yeah, I know you love going to the theater, and you're probably one of the people I know that goes to the theater the most, and a lot of
Mhm.
times with your kids, sometimes a movie will come out in a weekend and you go and see it, and you're like, okay, cool, I'm taking them now to go see it, or maybe one of your kids wasn't there, so you go to see it another time when the other kid is together with all the kids to do that. So,
Yeah.
how important for you is like that movie experience when it comes to like raising your kids, like and showing them things that you grew up on and showing, them new stuff that you think is really cool. Like obviously it's an important thing to you. Where does that come from?
I don't know, because I don't do the same thing for my daughters.
Gotcha, gotcha.
For some reason, I do show them movies, but I don't know, maybe because they're girls, I don't know. I mean, they like movies, but they're not into the movies that I like, like
Right,
this
right.
action, like my son, like he likes the action genre, which is the genre I kind of grew up with, so to speak. 80s, 90s action movies. So I don't know. I just want him to get a taste, of movies, from my time, like with less or minimum CGI.
Right, right. And
Nothing.
sorry, go ahead. What were you gonna say?
I mean, nothing wrong with CGI. I like that, but I also like, the mechanical or practical effects. I think both are important and valuable.
For sure. No, I definitely agree, and something that we I think we both have in common is that, movies of like the 70s and the 80s and the 90s are like some of our favorite movies. And something that of course you are really big into, as I definitely want to talk about more about your collecting and different things like that. But one thing you're really big into is because is fitness. You're really into the world of martial arts and all that kind of stuff. So what got you into all that kind of stuff? I know your kids do martial arts as well.
Hmm.
What got you into martial arts, and why has it always kind of been one of your favorite things or something that's super important to you in movies and in real life?
I'm gonna blame movies. I think that's the reason, because I was exposed, to these movies, which is weird because I was exposed to these movies for the first time when I was in school. Like they showed me the movie at school, which now when I think about it, I'm like, who would show rated R movies in an elementary school?
They
But
didn't care at all back in those days.
yeah, I came out just fine, but but yeah, like for instance, I remember, I was probably second or third grade, and my the elementary school that I went to, we had this big, multi-purpose, classroom, and so we did, different activities there, and for some reason sometimes we would have like a movie day. Maybe the teacher didn't have anything planned for that. I don't know. Like now as an adult, I'm like, why would they do stuff like that? So they show me movies like, Rocky Four, Kickboxer, um, and I think watching those movies for the first time, that's the first movie that I saw of, Jean-Claude Van Damme, Kickboxer, and I was in school, and just looking at him and seeing him in the training montage doing the split and then doing those kicks, I was like, oh, this is cool. And I don't know, I
And
guess, I had a fresh mind, and I got impressed, and I guess that impression has lasted for so many years.
yeah, I mean, and that's something I love about your channel is that you're so into all that stuff. You mentioned John Claude Van Damme, like he's obviously I think one of the biggest people that you talk about or have on your channel in terms of thumbnails or different things that you've discussed in the past. What is it about John Claude Van Damme that just like you're just all in on?
um, I think just watching his movies, since I was a kid, and just watching them, like over and over again. Somehow, I don't know. I mean, his characters, his his fitness level that he had during his prime. Um, I don't know. I was like, man, I like this guy. You know, I like this guy, and I don't know if he was some sort of hero, I guess. And then I'm like, you know what? I want to be like him one day. So I had posters of him. Well, I still do, but I was a kid, and I was a kid, so they were not framed or anything. They just had tape on the back, Um, and I don't know. I just, like him, for instance, Arnold Schwarzenegger. Also, like watching Terminator. By the time Terminator came out, I was a little older. I was in middle school, so I wasn't as young. But I mean, still young. But um, and I don't know. I was like his characters. Maybe the machismo, even though I'm not like a macho man, but the bravado, the the personality, over the top strength, like Stallone, Rocky, and also like over the top in the movie, over the top, and then, I don't know, just like the 80s, like looking good and being muscular, not necessarily huge, but just I don't know stuff like I don't know. I guess it messed up a little bit. It
Well, I
messed
was
me
going to
up a
ask
bit.
you, who do we have? Who do you think that we have in the modern day in filmmaking that is within the same kind of world as those action stars of the 80s and the 90s? Do you think that we have people like that these days, or do you think we've lost that?
No, I think we lost it. I think we lost it. Yeah, I think there could be some people might be kind of close, but well, no, I won't say kind of close, but trying to imitate. But I don't know. I sometimes I think that era, I think it's kind of gone, and even them, they're trying to bring it back, and I don't think it has worked very well. I don't know why. Uh, so like, cause one day I was thinking about that, like that question. I was like, who are my son's heroes like nowadays? Like for his generation. And I'm like, who? I mean, like the Harry Styles, or I mean, who? I don't know who are these guys. So I'm like, so maybe that's another reason to answer one of the questions from before. Like, I want my son to, kind of see the type of role models I had, I guess, and so he can see what it was like before, and maybe he can appreciate of that aspect. I don't know.
Right,
It's,
right.
it's times are weird, especially now.
Yeah, no, for sure. I could definitely see where you're coming from for sure. I think that we've had some like it's weird, kind of like you said, it almost feels like an imitation thing at times. Think like maybe at this point, maybe people wouldn't agree, but I would say like The Rock is maybe one of those people that you can look at today as like a, big hulking action guy kind of thing.
Hmm.
But it's just different. Movies were so different back then that now everything feels so processed and commercial a lot of times, and it kind of has lost that grit. And movies come out so often now that it's not as special as when these actors would put something out back in the day. It's definitely a different world. And one thing I said I wanted to bring us back on a little bit was those action figures that we see behind you. I mean, if anybody's seen your channel, and we've talked about it before on this channel when I've had you on, that you just have one of the coolest collections of
No.
various like figurines and like action figures and posters and different things like that. And you've said you have tons more that don't even make it on camera just because they're whatever, like they don't have the space for it.
Yeah.
So what got you into that world, man? Like what was the time where you started to realize like, all right, I have a couple of these, and now it's like, oh, I have like a lot of these. And where did you find yourself just like completely losing track of how many you had?
Yeah. Um, I'm gonna answer that question, but yeah, going back a little bit, since you mentioned The Rock, yeah, I can see The Rock. I can see what you mean, but The Rock is in his 50s, like But I'm thinking like, is there anybody in the 20s or 30s right now in Hollywood that it can be like somebody who
Right, right.
I don't think there's nobody. But anyway, um, but yeah, definitely
That's
the
true. That's
yeah.
true. Like I can't think of somebody much younger. I could think of some other popular action stars for big roles, like people who are like really fit too, like a Chris
Chris,
Evans or something
Chris
like that.
Hemsworth, yeah, Hemsworth too, yeah.
Right. But like, something big with them is like, sure, they do their stunts to a degree, but like, yeah, there's something about Jean-Claude Van Damme and Bruce Lee and all these guys from back in the day that actually did a lot of the fighting themselves. And so it wasn't just like a physical physique, it was also like the talent and the skill
Mhm.
that was able to be shown on screen too. So I mean, yeah, you bring up a good point there for sure.
So yeah, so the only came to my mind was Harry Styles, and that's I never heard about that guy until that movie, MCU movie, The
Oh, the
Eternals.
Eternals,
At
right.
the end, at the post credit, people were like, screaming, like, I don't know. So then I found out it was him. Like somebody told me,
Yeah.
"Oh, that's Harry Styles, and he sings or whatever." And I'm like, "Oh, okay." But still, anyway, I don't want to talk about him. Um, I don't know. I started. Well, I grew up not so much like reading, reading comics. I only had a handful of comics growing up, but I was more into watching cartoons, Saturday morning cartoons, or on a Monday through on the weekdays. Like after school, that we play cartoons. So I grew up with watching cartoons about superheroes. So that's how I was introduced to Marvel and to DC Comics through cartoons. And then once I turned what 18, 17, that's when I had a job and I could buy me stuff, with my own money. I started buying like binders or Spider-Man. I remember this one, uh, a binder with, like the one with three rings that you can put like paper
Right,
sheets
right.
and bring it to school. So I remember I went to this that store doesn't exist anymore. It was a music store, and this is in the late 90s, and I got me this really sick. It was a binder like this with Spider-Man on the front, and he was like crawling. It was so sick. So I bought that thing, and then I started buying things with comics related to comics and superheroes, and every so often I would buy me like a little. I got me a blockbuster. I bought me a really cool bobblehead, a Spider-Man bobblehead, and I would just keep them, you know, and I don't know. I guess little by little, started buying crap. And then obviously at that time, I couldn't keep everything, so some stuff got lost. But it wasn't when I kind of started like buying more, like a little more serious, like spending actually more money on things. When it was probably what 2013, I bought my very first. I think I have it in the hallway. My very first, most expensive, and by expensive I'm talking about 50, $60. It was the Corbucchia uh, Batman figure. It's like a statue, like this big, and it's the Batman, and that was the first one that I bought. And previous to that, I had like little figurines like this big, like a 6 inches of Marvel. I got a picture somewhere. I still have them somewhere over there. They're not on display. They're like cheap, but they were cool. And so I got the Corbucchia Batman, and then from there I started buying the rest of them. I got Shazam. I got the seventh, like the Justice League, and then I started buying the villains, and then from there I heard about Hot Toys years later, but Hot Toys is another level,
Right, right.
price wise. And I wanted Hot Toys for a while, but I didn't get any Hot Toys until I got my very first one, which was John Wick. And dude, once you buy one Hot Toy, because I heard this before and I was like, sure, whatever. They're actually addicted. Like you buy one, you're gonna keep buying them.
Right, right. Yeah.
You're
I
gonna
don't
keep.
have any hot toys myself. I want them, and I have
Mhm.
friends who have them, and I've seen them in person on tons of occasions at conventions and
Yeah.
at when I've gone to people's houses who have them. And they're really nice. Like the detail is incredible, and so I've always dreamed of like I don't have the space personally, like
Mhm.
in my apartment to just have like a bunch of glass cases everywhere or shelving. But I would love to have like in the future,
Mm.
if everything works out perfectly in my life, I'd like to have like a man cave room, kind of like you do, to be able to put up all those different figurines because they have so many cool different things of
Mhm.
pretty much everything, and the detail is clear and present. What do you have one that you're like, damn, I can't believe I spent that much money on it, but I'm happy I have it?
Yeah, yeah, I got a few. Um, yeah, one of my favorites, which I missed the first time they came out, because when they came out, I wasn't buying Hot Toys yet, but they re-released them recently, and I was like, yes. the the Nightmare Batman, Ben Affleck,
Oh, nice.
that one they re-released him with in a combo package with Black Suit Superman.
Oh, that's awesome.
So I got the combo because it was sold as a combo. Uh, yeah, that was it was expensive. But the good thing about Hot Toys, or I would say the good thing about, because I got them through Sideshow Collectibles.
Right.
Uh, and before I say this, I mean I'm not a sponsor by, I will, but they do offer like a payment plan with no interest, so that helps. That helps a lot. That helps a lot
Gotcha,
because
gotcha,
I don't I wish I could put money, but I don't.
gotcha, gotcha. All right, cool. So that's actually kind of cool though. It gives you a little bit of like a workaround. You can get something cool to add to your collection, but you don't have to pay it all off in one go. I could see how that would be addicting though, because next thing you know, you got 17 playman plans going on at one time.
Yeah, but there is no interest on Sideshow, so that's a good thing.
Right, right.
However,
Have you ever had multiple payment plans going on at one time for different collectibles?
I still do. Yeah, I I still do. Unfortunately, that's the thing. Like if you buy one, then you're gonna buy more. But not right now. First, I don't have the space. Second, I don't have all the money that I wish I could buy all of them. So now I only buy the figures that I really like that have some sort of meaning to me.
Right.
Otherwise, I'm not gonna spend that money for it. And there are times when you when you like special figure or whatever, and then 2 3 4 years, they go by, and then you're not as you don't connect too much. And so when that happens to me, I sell those, and with the money that I get, I put it into I put it, I put it into other toys. uh
What's a good example for you of one that you were just like you just got tired of that you sold and then you got another one?
oh those Kotobukiya that I was telling you about, I have one right here. The other ones are in the hallway, but this one I am going to keep it because I like him. I'm not gonna sell it. But the other ones are from the same collection. This Shazam,
That's
the
awesome.
Kotobukiya. So it's a statue, so it has no articulations. So this one I still like him. So I bought all of the all of the seven of them, like the Justice League, and then I bought like almost all of the villains. Like, but the one that I got rid of now already, I sold. Which one did I? Uh, Captain Freezer. No, no, no. Captain Cold.
Yeah, Captain Cold, yeah.
Captain Cold. I sold that one. Uh, I am currently selling Supergirl.
Gotcha.
uh, and I am which one I may sell Joker, and I say may because I haven't decided. Uh, maybe I'm gonna sell him, or I wanna. I mean, I don't know, because the Joker, this is an iconic villain in the DC, so
All right.
Uh,
I mean, but you have a few Jokers, right? Because I can see you have a Heath Ledger Joker behind you up on that.
oh yeah. Over there, yeah. That's a third. It's a third party. Um, he's my favorite Joker, so I will never sell him. Yeah, it's a third party, but it's still that doesn't mean that it's cheap. But it's funny because I bought it used. That's another thing. Like sometimes I have to get them used as long as they are clean or in mint condition. So that when I got it, I found it on eBay one day. I've been wanting that one for the longest time, but it was always too expensive. And that day, maybe the seller wanted to get rid of him or whatever. So he sent me an offer. Well, you familiar? Do you buy on eBay stuff like that?
I have, yeah. I don't really buy on eBay often, but I have for sure.
Okay, so the seller he sent me an offer, and then I did a counter offer, and the seller took it. So I was like, nice. So I got, and yeah,
Wow.
it was used, but still, I mean, it's complete. It has all the accessories, and yeah, I love that Joker, dude. He's my favorite one.
Is there a
So
certain franchise that you prefer to collect for, like a specific kind of? Is it DC, Marvel? I know you like Dragon Ball as well. Like, is there a certain kind of franchise that is just a go-to for you?
um, mm, you should, yeah. Well, I like both Marvel and DC. Anything like Lord of the Rings. Uh, but any preference? No, I don't think I have a preference. As long as I love the character and if I like the figure and if the figure is, you know, uh, like if he has the resemblance that of the actor, for instance, and if I like it enough, then I'll try to buy it or at least put him on my wish list because I have a wish list, even trying to get it if I whenever I can.
Right, right.
Yeah, for Dragon Ball, I like Van Presto. That's a good one. Even though you just gotta watch out for bootlegs, but Van Presto is good. SH figures is also good, but they're too small. Like they're like this big, like a 8 inches, 6 or 8 inches. They do have a lot of articulation, so that's a good thing. So there's Captain Ginyu. So
That's
yeah, so this is SH figures, and so they're cool, but I rather the 1/6 scale or the 12 inches because they're a little bigger. So yeah, I like that brand. Um, but yeah, I mean, as long as it's something like that I like, either the character or if I like the way it looks, if it has good accessories, and if the price is not too bad, then I do what I can. Like sometimes I sell like 2 or 3 things, and then with that money, I'm able to buy just one.
right, right.
You gotta juggle the price and all these things. So
Yeah, of course. And do you ever have problems with your kids wanting to play with all your collectibles?
no, actually, no, not really. Because they know. I mean, eventually, once I'm gone, this is gonna be theirs. I mean, I got nothing else for them. So, uh, for the boys, the girls, they don't care. I don't got nothing for them, unfortunately. But yeah, I think the boys will get some of this stuff. God willing. Hopefully, my wife won't throw him to the Salvation Army. Oh, dude, that would be bad. Can you imagine?
Oh, dude, yeah, you rolling in your grave, coming back to haunt her. I love
Yeah,
that.
because I imagine, when you don't know and you just want to get rid of stuff, you just put them at the thrift store.
Right. I feel like, especially with all that's definitely stuff that you could all make money on at some point. If you ever just are tired of collecting
Yeah,
altogether, yeah, you could definitely make a whole lot of money just selling those. So yeah, man, that's awesome, dude.
yeah.
I have
That's what. I'm sorry. Yeah.
no, go ahead, go ahead, go ahead.
Oh no, that's what I tell my wife when she says things like, I'm like, this is an investment, and I've been serious, but I don't know if she knows that I'm serious. But I'm like, the price of these things, they actually go up throughout the year because as the time goes by, the prices go up, especially like things like hot toys, because then they get discontinued, and then you know you can actually make a little bit of money if you resell them later.
Right, of course.
Yeah.
Like I feel like that's kind of the I've had some friends who did that too. Like they would wait for them to be, especially if you have like something that was like limited or they don't have it in like a run anymore. Super easy to kind of like make a little extra change on that kind of stuff. Especially with like how long Hot Toys has been around.
Hmm.
I think an investment is probably the best way to think about it, really, honestly, because you have some figures there that are gonna probably be worth a lot of money in 10, 15, 20 years, as Hot Toys continues on. And who knows, maybe the planet won't be here anymore in 20 years. But
Yeah.
yeah, I think it's definitely a good idea in terms of like how much you have to.
Hmm.
I think there's definitely going to be a worthwhile investment in there, so long as yeah, your kids don't just like drop it off at Goodwill.
I'm telling you, dude. Like some of the hot toys that went up really high right now, is like Darth Vader, um, um, Ellen Ripley. That one
Gotcha.
also went up more. And the Bruce Lee. Well, Bruce Lee is not a hot toy, but I think it's them toys or no Blitzway. I think that one also went up. Um, Commando, like Arnold Schwarzenegger's Commando, that's a hot toy. That one also went up, even though that one came out, I think 16, 17, 2016 or 2017. So not that long ago, and it already went up. But at that time, I wasn't buying hot toys, so I missed a bunch of them. So, but yeah, I just write a wish list and then I try to get them as soon as I can. And actually, since we're talking, I was telling you about Helen Ripley. I pre-order one. It's not a hot toy. I don't know if Hot Toy is gonna re-release that Helen Ripley one, but there is a third party. I forgot which one he said they're gonna release a version of Helen Ripley. Obviously, the name is not Helen Ripley or anything. I think it's something flight. It's something that has to do with like because of copyright, they had to change the titles.
Gotcha. So it's clearly her, but it's not supposed
Yeah,
to be. Gotcha. Gotcha.
yeah. It's funny sometimes because like when I bought the Riddler,
Right.
I bought a third party. This one.
Yeah, it
And
looks pretty good.
yeah, oh yeah, this is a third party. Yeah, it's a good one. It's a 12 inches. This was the conundrum man.
The
And then
Conundrum Man. That's
yeah,
what they call them.
yep. And then they did another version. It was the puzzle man. And then
Do you find that those tend to be cheaper, or are they typically around the same price?
they are a little cheaper than Hot Toys, but
Okay.
but but it's gonna be over 150 for sure. That's what it's gonna be over $150 for sure.
Right. I feel like I rarely see a hot toy or anything from Sideshow Collectibles or anything like that that's lower than 150 or even $200.
Yeah, if you find a hot toy for $200, dude, you better buy it because it's gonna be very rare.
Right, right.
And then I bought this year. I bought an Arnold Schwarzenegger Terminator from Judgment Day, and
Okay.
then the name of the in the box it says Future Warrior.
Gotcha. Yeah, so they really just try, but they make it look just like Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah, yeah, it looks pretty decent. Uh, some of those brands do better than others. Sometimes you're gonna get disappointed, like I did, like a year ago when I bought a year ago. I bought a third party, the Nazgul from Lord of the Rings,
Right.
and I did an unboxing video about it. And when I remember when I opened the box, I was like, "Well, my face is not in the video because I'm showing the toy." But when I opened the box, I was like, "Oh man, I thought this is not very good." And
So what do
somebody,
you do in those moments? You just return it?
no, I sold it later.
Mm.
I sold it, and then a year went by, and I bought another third party, which is better. And I did an unboxing video like last week because I got it last week. I got it through Sideshow. That one I got it through Sideshow, and it's a way better Nazgul. Yeah, when you compare it. And it's funny because when I did that video a year ago about the other Nazgul, somebody in the comments on my video, somebody in the comments is like, "Oh man, I got disappointed as soon as you opened that box."
Yeah, I mean, I can only imagine. At least you have the ability to have people suffer with you with those videos if something's ever like completely just not it. I have
Yeah.
to go back and watch that video now because I
Oh,
don't
yeah.
remember that.
Yeah, it was one of I forgot the name of that the brand of that, but it's in the video. But
Well, I just feel bad for the poor soul that you sold it to that got theirs and they opened it and they were like
oh
disappointed.
yeah, no, but this is the thing. If I sell it like that, I take like actual pictures of the item.
Oh, gotcha.
I don't use like stock photos.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
Because I'm like, this is what you're gonna get, what you see, or what you see, that's what you're gonna get.
Right, of
Because you
course.
don't want like refunds or returns or bad feedback or whatever.
Right, of course. I mean, I
But
guess
yeah,
that's like the so it's like the gamble, I guess, getting something like that is just the gamble of trying to buy something for a little bit of a cheaper price and you're like, "Oh, this does not look good." And then you still have to go and spend the money on the better item just to get what you wanted initially.
yeah. When I was buying figures of Dragon Ball, it was going to be my very first one of Dragon Ball. And actually I'm sorry, I said Dragon Ball. It was a One Piece. It was Fire
Gotcha.
Fist Ace. Fire
Nice.
Fist Ace. And I was looking on eBay. I was just scrolling, and then I saw the figure, and then I saw another one like for way cheaper, and they look the same. And I in the picture, they look the same, and I was like, what? Why? I didn't know any better. So obviously, I'm like, they're the same. I'm gonna buy the one that is cheaper. So I bought the one that was cheaper. Dude, it was a bootleg. And just trying to send it back to China, I'm like, no, forget. So I kept it, but I don't have it anymore. But I don't no, and I don't have it anymore. But then that's how I learned, like, because once you get the fake one, you get to see, the painting, the way the eyes look, some of the material, the way they feel, and then you can tell that it's actually a bootleg. But yeah, that's how I learned it, kind of the hard way. Some of those figures. So now I'm
How much money do you think you've spent on like bootleg figures by accident?
on bootlegs. No, not that much because they're cheaper. But and then I learned my lesson. But I would say easy, less than $100, maybe $80 or something like that.
Oh, okay.
Um,
That's really not bad at all.
oh
Yeah.
yeah, not bad at all. Now I bought a few bootlegs on purpose because I was there. Like it wasn't online. I went to a flea market, and you watched Dragon Ball, right?
Yeah.
Mr. Popo. Mr. Popo.
Right.
Yeah, this is a bootleg.
It looks pretty good.
Yeah, this is a bootleg, and I was on a flea market. There was a guy selling all this pop culture stuff and toys and cars, and so I saw that it came with a box and everything. But just by looking at because once you're in person, you can actually inspect it, and you can tell right away when it's not original. And but this one, it was like, I think it was like $20.
No, it's not bad.
Yeah, not at all. And for a bootleg, it looks, like the eyes, the painting, everything is cool for $20 for a bootleg. So I bought it. I think the original is, I forgot how much is the original, but it's not $20. It's at least 3 times more. But yeah,
Crazy.
yeah. So, so like I said, I just nowadays I just buy things that I actually like and that I know that I'm gonna keep,
Right.
because like I said, I don't have much room.
No, that makes sense, man. I mean, and I've always been impressed by your collection, and I appreciate you like peeling back the curtain a little bit and talking a little bit about that because I think it's so cool, man. I I have little figurines here and there, but like old toys I had from when I was younger, and I've
Mhm.
never invested heavily in hot toys, but it's something I've always wanted to do. But I'm gonna kind of wait till I have the space and I have the shelving to
Uh-huh.
really display it, right? But to kind of flip back a little bit more to like movies and action stars and martial arts in particular, I'm just curious if you have to say like who are you would say as like your top three martial art actors of the 70s, 80s, and 90s.
Martial arts. I'm gonna go Bruce Lee, Jackie Chan, and Jean Claude Van Damme.
Nice, nice.
Yeah, for martial arts. Yeah. There's other ones that I like. Perhaps they were not as strong as Jackie Chan, but um, Sammo Hung, he's a very close friend with Jackie Chan, so I like his movies. But to me, those are the better ones, or some of the pioneers. I mean, obviously Chuck Norris, but I was never a fan. I mean, I don't hate him or anything, or I don't dislike him either. I think Chuck Norris is cool, but uh, Chuck Norris I think is a big one too. But yeah, I'm gonna say Bruce Lee, Jackie Chan, and Van Damme.
Nice, nice, man. Yeah, those are definitely three really good picks right there. Um, and it's a shame, honestly, that we don't have too many action stars. It feels like nowadays that are in that similar kind of bracket, especially when it comes to like somebody like Jackie Chan. You know, like this big
Mhm.
stunt man actor. You know, kind of individual who choreographs all these fights and stuff like that. And now he's so old, so we don't like like he doesn't do this stuff anymore. You know,
Yeah,
it's like it's just crazy to think about the time where there was consistently Jackie Chan movies, and now we live in a world where you know you really never see him in anything anymore, unless it's some sort of like little comedy or something like that. Who are
yeah.
maybe some underrated ones that you think about from the 70s, 80s, and 90s that people don't think about when it comes to actors that did their own martial arts?
Um, this is funny because I've been watching. I don't know their names because they did they didn't get that many. I don't know, like publicity back then, or they didn't have that charisma that they were like real fighters, but they only did movies that were like B movies and it never took off. Uh, some of them will be uh, Dragon Wilson. What's his name? He was a kickboxer, world champion. He did some movies. Something Dragon Wilson. I forgot his first name. I never seen his movies, but I know like I saw him in interviews most recently, and he was like, I don't know if he was jealous, but I think a lot of people like him who were like real martial artists and they were trying to break into Hollywood and they did what they could, but they never took off. And then around the same time, there is this guy who came from Brussels, not knowing English, and then boom, he made it into Hollywood
Right,
and
right.
stardom. I'm talking about Van Damme. Um, I don't know. Yeah. So this guy, he's one of them. I think like I said, he's a legitimate kickboxer, world champion. Who else will be? And there are other people that I don't know because they were never that big, and I never heard of them. That doesn't mean that much, but I just never heard of them. I've been watching for maybe a year or two. There's this guy, maybe Scott Atkins. Maybe you know who he is, right? Or
Yeah, you said Scott Atkins.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
okay. He has a YouTube channel, and he's been doing the art of fighting, and he interviews a lot of these guys, either a stuntman from nowadays or from back in the day. So that's where I see a lot of these guys that he gets to interview, like actors from the 80s or 90s that they were making movies, and then they, for whatever reason, they never it never clicked. Like it never took off. They were not successfully in Hollywood. Billy Blanks, I think, is another one, another actor and fighter. I know he did a Taibo thing, but
That's awesome, man. Yeah, no, I think there's definitely, unfortunately, a lot of guys out in that era specifically that did like try to break it into movies and just never did. And kind of like you said, then you'd have somebody like random just pop off and become like a huge worldwide success. And a lot of times, especially back in those days, it really was based on the charisma factor, right? Because that's something that Van Damme definitely has. My man is very confident and
yeah,
definitely holds a lot of bravado and just is comfortable 110% with who he is. Recently, it actually came out, well, somewhat recently in the last few weeks, that he actually wanted to be involved in the Fast and the Furious movies, and that Vin Diesel pretty much told him no, that they didn't want him in the movies. Had you heard about that?
no, dude, no. Do you know
So
more?
my question to you is: would you have liked to? Would you like to see Van Damme in the Fast and the Furious movies? Do you think he'd fit in those movies?
Um, I would like to see him. It was great when I saw him on the Expendables, because that was one of
Right.
that was a big movie. Uh, and I could be wrong, but I think I'm right, but I could be wrong. Back in 2013, that's when Expendables 2 came out. That was the first time that Van Damme was in a movie with that had a theatrical release, if I'm not
Really?
mistaken.
Okay. I
If
guess
I'm
that
not,
makes sense when I think about it. Yeah.
because one of his last movies, I think that came out in theaters, I think was Double Team, the one with Dennis Rodman.
Right. Right.
I think it's one of those around that time, because after that time, all of the movies that he did, they were going straight to DVD or blue or VHS or
Right.
whatever.
Straight to streaming. Yeah.
Yeah, and so I think Expendables 2 is I mean, obviously it wasn't his movie, but I think that's the movie that brought him back to the big screen. And then after that, he did a few other movies that were on the big screen. We Die Young, which actually I'm like, I'm on. I went to an AMC and paid money for that one. That one came out like in 2016, 2017. So yeah, I think. Oh, okay. Yeah. I would like to see him in now necessarily in Fast and the Furious. Yeah. I don't mind. I mean, I know that franchise is not is questionable at times. You know, but I don't
I
know.
feel like he would fit in pretty well, like his over the
I
top kind of personality with the over
hmm
the top element of the Fast and the Furious franchise.
and
I think he fit in pretty well.
and I don't know why. And I didn't. First of all, I didn't know anything about this, but I don't know
This
why.
recently came out, yeah.
I don't know why Vin Diesel would say no. I mean, right? I think Vin Diesel, since he's a big producer of the movie, and thinking about the amount of money the last Fast and Furious movies have made has been in decline. I think Vin Diesel should be open to more, how to spice it up.
Yeah, I think that he gets in his own way a lot of times when it comes down to the star power element of the movie, right? Like he has, we already know infamously that he has issues with like The Rock, and now they're
Mhm.
kind of like trying to squash that, I guess, for the final couple movies of the franchise. Um, but yeah, it's it seems like he sometimes gets in his own way of what could be like really good movies, or at
Yeah,
least more fun movies.
yeah. Because as a producer, I mean, he should be, doing what he can to reignite the franchise. That one, I think. I think it's because the numbers have been going down, I believe,
Right. Yeah.
money wise, right? I think it.
I think so, but I do think that Fast X did pretty well in theaters this year. I don't know how well it did compared to the other ones
Mhm.
before it, but I think it did decently. I can't remember if it bombed or not.
I know, like the critics, most of the critics didn't like it as much, I think.
Yeah, well, that tends to be the case, right? That's definitely a franchise that the audience likes more than the critics, for sure. A lot of times, like the audience members love Fast and the Furious, but the critics. But and I feel like in recent years, though, with the Fast and the Furious movies just getting crazier and crazier and crazier and going to space and stuff like that, some people who like the early part of the franchise, even like the fifth one and the sixth one, like are starting to kind of be like, all right, this is getting kind of fucking crazy.
Yeah, because the Fast Nine, that's when they went to space.
Right, right, yeah, at the
I thought
end.
that was a joke, and
Yeah,
then no, like there was a joke out there, like
right,
before
yeah,
the
of
movie
course.
came out.
Yeah.
The joke was who's gonna go to space first, Dominic Toretto or Ethan Hunt?
Right, right.
And I think most people were thinking maybe Ethan Hunt will go to space first,
Right,
because he's a high level spy.
right.
And no, and it was actually the Dominic Toretto and his family.
And not even him, like, the fact that it was Ludacris and,
Ludacris and was
what's his
uh
name?
what's the name?
Tyrone
Tyrese.
Tyrese, yeah. Yeah, I couldn't remember his name. Um, yeah, yeah, the fact that it was them 2 up there in space, and there's, like, busted up old car, and
using
you got
using duct tape and
right, like, what?
I mean, I don't mind movies like that, but
They're getting pretty funny. I think about, like, in Fast 9 as well, there's that sequence where he jumps off, or Vin Diesel jumps off the cliff, and like with the car, and he like ties the bottom of the car to like a rope, and he swings it across like this field.
yeah.
And then the car goes tumbling, and none of them are wearing seatbelts, and they're totally fine. And then later on, Michelle Rodriguez is falling off of something, and he just like catches her with the car, and she's like, "Thanks," but I'm like, if I fell on the hood of a car, like no matter how, like it's nothing about it's gonna be like I was caught from hitting the ground any better, I
Yeah.
think it's hilarious.
No, yeah, in that movie he went also in that movie was Seven. Toretto, he goes like super strong, and he takes down those 2 pillars with the
Right,
chain
right, yeah,
and the
yeah.
roof
Yeah, I
yeah,
remember.
that's like some Thor level of strength, that's not human.
Right, right. Well, there's so many moments like in the franchise that are so funny with like how, like, I always think about too, and which one was it? I think it was F8, Fate of the Future, whatever, Fate of the Furious.
Uh-huh.
Um, that's the one where I think you have The Rock and Jason Statham in prison together. It was the one that set up Hobbs and Shaw,
Uh-huh.
and they're literally fighting all the police guards, and like I think at
Oh,
one point they're shooting The Rock in the chest with rubber bullets, and they're just bouncing off, and he like throws somebody through a wall. I think he even he rips the bench in his jail cell out of the ground, like out of the concrete ground, to like do like curls with. Just
but yeah,
what the
but
hell?
I mean, I don't mind stuff like that because that's ridiculous, right? And I don't mind to a certain point, but when you go F9 level of ridiculousness, that's another level that you're not supposed to cross. But anyway.
People always talked about wanting to see it crossover with different franchises. Do you think that a Fast and the Furious crossover would be good?
Oh, dude, yeah, there is a meme that it's a joke and slash meme crossover with Jurassic Park, I think, riding dinosaurs. Yeah,
That would
yeah.
that would definitely take it to the next level. That would be the natural evolution of Fast and the Furious. I know, like, I think one that people always talked about as well is man, I look so bright all of a sudden. My face got so bright, and it was crazy as we were talking about this before the stream. I closed the blinds. The blinds next to me are
Uh-huh.
closed, and the sun is still coming through here, incredibly strong. Anyway, um, Transformers, I feel like would have been
Oh, dude.
the go to with Fast and the Furious. But did you see the latest Transformers movie?
Rise of the Beast. Yeah,
Yeah,
dude. I watched it a few times in the theater, dude. I actually enjoyed.
yeah, I thought it was a good time, man.
I
And
enjoyed it. Yeah.
now with that tease at the end, it was spoilers for anybody who hasn't seen Transformers: Rise of the Beast, but it it ends with the tease of the GI Joe that's going to come into play. You know, you're going to have
Uh,
Transformers and GI Joe. So
oh, at the
I
end,
like
yeah.
the idea. I like the idea of having these franchises cross over. You know, at this point, let's just have fun with it, man. Like 100%.
Yeah. No, no, dude, I love that. I actually like it. I think it came out this year, right? Yeah, it's from this
Yeah, it
year.
was earlier this
Okay.
year. Yeah,
I get all confused. I
yeah,
think
you and me both.
it might. I wouldn't be surprised. It might make it in my top 10. It may make it in my top 10. I
That's
know
nice.
we're getting closer to December, so you may make it, dude. We'll
Yeah,
see, but you may make it.
I've been building my top 10 already so far, and I keep changing numbers. I
Hmm.
think right now I had Rise of the Beast at like maybe like 16 or 17,
Uh-huh.
if I'm honest. But I might change things around. There are some in my like there's some movies I want, like there's some movies I was really excited for this year that I wanted to easily be in my top 10, but
Uh-huh.
they're just not, you know, like some of those for me are like The Flash or Indiana Jones. Like I like those movies. I had a lot of fun with them. I just
Uh-huh.
think there's been better movies this year, you know? And
Yeah.
so I expected, oh yeah, those are definitely going to be in my top 10 by the end of the year. But it looks like they may not be, you know? So it's going to be interesting by the time we get to the end cuz we still got
Y-
some big movies coming. I mean, who knows? The Marvels could be everybody's number one movie of the year. I don't think that'll be the case, but
Are you excited or not? I mean, I know you're gonna watch it. I know that, right? You're
yeah,
gonna watch
I
it.
mean, I'm excited because I'm a fan of Marvel. I'm a fan of seeing these characters come together. Um, Ms. Marvel, probably my least favorite MCU show,
Hmm.
or maybe She-Hulk is probably my least favorite. But Ms. Marvel, I wasn't crazy about it,
Hmm.
um, but I liked it. I did enjoy it week to week, and I just wasn't like super crazy about it. And I just know because I've seen that character in other things, like some cartoons and in comic books and in video
Hmm.
games. Like I know like kind of the role she can play,
Hmm.
and so I'm excited to see her integrated in with these other characters. I'm honestly just excited about this movie because it's like the first real time that the events of one of the shows is tying into one of the movies, you know? Like we haven't had a lot of that so far. That's been one of the biggest criticisms people have had. You know, the shows have had things that are definitely going to set up some great stuff for the future of the movies, you know, like I think things like Falcon and the Winter Soldier is going to be super important once we get to that new Captain America movie. I think that things like, you know, obviously WandaVision
Hmm.
impacted Doctor Strange. But we haven't seen like, you know, Moon Knight or the new version of Loki come into play with the characters in the movies. We haven't seen, you know, She-Hulk come into play with the movies yet, or we haven't seen, you know, really anything. Even characters like from the some of the movies haven't appeared in other things. Shang-Chi, Eternals, like where are those guys, you know?
Yeah.
So I like the idea finally that we're gonna get a new movie that's a sequel to Captain Marvel that's going to have Monica Rambeau from WandaVision and Ms. Marvel from Ms. Marvel in the movie, tied in with the rest of the storyline. I'm just hoping we start to see more connection with everything that we're getting. And that's where I'm excited. With all that said, though, you know, the trailers just look like a straightforward, fun comic book movie. I'm not expecting it to be um, better than Across the Spider Verse or Guardians of the Galaxy 3 for me,
Hmm.
which are in my top 10 for this year for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you have your ticket yet?
Yeah, I do actually. I
Okay.
do have my I do have my ticket. I see real quick. I see that our buddy Q Reviews popped in here to say, "Hey guys, stop by to say what's up." And then he
Go
goes,
Q.
"How about Kang?" Yeah, so Kang is one right that crossed over. Um, obviously, like you need Loki for Ant Man, you know, Ant Man and the Wasp, Quantum Mania to make sense. But those are different Kangs, you know, and we haven't really seen a whole lot of like, we haven't really seen the Kang that we're going to be mainly threatened by, right? Like they kind of tease that there's so many Kangs, but it's like, you know, we have the Kang Dynasty coming up, we have Secret Wars coming up with the Avengers. You know, I guess that one central threat, especially if you've been keeping up with Loki season two, it's just another iteration of Kang. Um, I just want to see a little bit more cohesion, you know. But Kang is guess one of those big things that we have seen trickled into other stuff. Um, Q says, I guess Kang kind of was in Loki first. Yeah, he was, and then it's like these different iterations of Kang we're seeing and everything. So obviously Loki has been probably one of the most important things in the MCU right now in terms of like setting up what's to come, including with the second season that's currently, I think we're 4 episodes deep now. Um,
Four,
but
I think.
yeah, yeah, there's 4 episodes now. I think there's only 2 more, which I'm not a fan of. I'm tired of Disney Plus and these
Six.
6 or 8 episode series. It doesn't work. I look at something like Andor, and that for me was one of my favorite of the Star Wars shows that they've done on Disney Plus because it had 12 episodes. It had more time to breathe and tell its story. It was a little slow at times, but by the end, it all feels like it comes together. Whereas with these like 6 or 8 episode seasons, man, you just don't have enough time to really tell these stories. So, I mean, what about you, man? Are you excited for the Marvels?
No, I'm not, but I do plan to watch it on opening night. I don't have my ticket yet, but I know they came out. Was it last week? I think, right? I think they went out on sale last week. I
Yeah,
think.
I want to say they've been out for at least 2 weeks, if I'm not
Oh,
mistaken.
okay.
Because I got
Uh,
mine. I got mine a little bit ago.
okay. But yeah, I do plan to watch it that Thursday night. I like the first Captain Marvel movie. Um, the Miss Marvel show, I couldn't watch it, dude. I tried. I watched, I think, the first 2 episodes, maybe the first 3 episodes, and then I gave up. I don't know what happens after that.
Well,
Uh,
I would recommend watching it just because it looks like if you watch the trailer, the ending of Miss Marvel connects to what you see in the trailer of for the movie. So, that's one thing with some of these shows. I was like, I feel like they're being built like if you don't watch it all, you might be a little bit confused when things
mhm.
end up
Oh,
happening.
and I heard, yeah. Now that you mentioned that, because I heard spoilers of the finale, which obviously I didn't see the show other than the first 2 or 3 episodes, like how they swapped bodies or something, right? In the
It's
in the
yeah, exactly. It's kind of like it's very brief and you don't know what the hell happened, and then the trailer has explained it a little bit more, where it's like
Mhm.
they're swapping bodies every time they use their powers or something.
So,
With
but yeah,
Black
I mean,
Panther.
I'll check it out. I hope I like it. Uh, I, I haven't been impressed. I know I'm not the only one. I don't know about
Right.
you. Uh, I haven't been impressed. The only show that impressed me after Endgame was WandaVision. I liked.
I remember vividly that you loved that show and
Yeah.
the various bras
Yeah.
that Wanda was wearing throughout the course of that show.
Well, I was pointing out the bras from the 40s and 50s.
Right.
Yeah, like the first the black and white ones.
Yeah, yeah.
I forgot that. Yeah, that topic came out in our live
Yeah,
stream.
in the live stream we did for WandaVision, we talked about bras for like 30 minutes.
But well, the reason we were talking about bras, I need to give context here for anybody who maybe was because of the attention to detail that WandaVision did, like the producers of the show, like with the outfits and all that.
Right.
But anyway. Oh yeah, so I really like that show. I think that show is one of a kind still. And then after that, I like, obviously, some episodes better than others, but at the end of the day, I was a little disappointed, even though I like some episodes better than others, with Winter Soldier and Falcon and Winter Soldier. Um, and then what else? Loki. I watched the first season. Second season, I saw one episode. That's it. I haven't seen more. Uh, Moon Knight. I liked the first episode, and then after that, it was a chore for me to. I finished it. I finished the whole show, the first season, but it was a chore eventually. I was like, oh, okay, I'm gonna watch it just because.
I really liked Moon Knight for sure. That
Oh,
was
really?
probably one of my favorite ones with Miss Marvel and She-Hulk. She-Hulk probably the most being the chores for me. Those two. She-Hulk was definitely the one that I found to be a chore, and I was
Uh,
really into it at first. I was like, okay, this is cool.
oh, the first episode was great.
Right, but by the time we got to the end, man, and it's like super meta, and she's like jumping out. Did you finish it?
I did, and then I canceled Disney Plus after. But just between us and everybody else watching, I canceled Disney Plus after She-Hulk, and then my wife, she's like, "No, but what about the kids?" And so anyway, she's using her parents' account.
I love that. I love that. That's hilarious. Yeah,
But
no, I mean, I guess I can't fully blame you. That She-Hulk finale where she's like jumping out of
oh,
the
that
like
breaking
she
the
jumps out into Disney Plus
yeah.
and then goes to Marvel. That's it was a very very bold choice for sure. Like stuff like that where they went extra meta. I was like, it's similar to how she
Uh-huh.
is in the comics because she is like that in the comics, kind of like you know like Deadpool, where she can like she knows she's a comic book character, but
Mhm.
it's definitely a lot. Um, hold on, let's see what this is. Oh, we got our buddy Mike in here saying didn't realize you fellas were live. Hope you're doing well. And then he asked, the real question for Cinematic is why wasn't your son called Marty after Marty McFly?
Nice, Mike. Nice. Oh, Mike. Well, probably he knows, but last Sunday? I think last Sunday. No, no, I'm sorry. Last Saturday. I took my kids. We went to see Back to the Future in the theater.
Nice,
It,
nice.
it, it was their first time watching it, like first time watching the movie ever, and it was my first time watching it in the theater. So it was pretty cool, man. It was pretty
That's
cool.
awesome, man. Yeah, I've never seen it in a theater. I've seen it a million times for sure.
Mhm.
Definitely a fantastic movie. But I think you made a better choice naming your kid after John Claude versus Marty McFly. I don't know that I don't know that kids should be running around today named Marty. Something about that just seems weird to me.
Well, you know what? You know what? I'm afraid. I'm afraid that new generation may think about Rick and Morty, or is it a different spelling? It's a different spelling, right? Yes, a different
No, no,
spelling.
oh, yeah, well, yeah, it's a the Morty and then Marty and
Yeah.
Morty, yeah. But I mean, yeah, I mean, I know a lot of people. I've seen people say to Doc Brown and Marty McFly. It's like, oh, they're similar to Rick and Morty. It's like, no, 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 it's the other way around. Like
Yeah. Oh yeah.
let's see. Mike also said, I knew you were wanting to see it on in the cinema. You get major props for taking yourself and others to see Back to the Future on the big screen.
Oh yeah.
Me and Emma have already talked, and it's been decided if it's a boy, his name is Marty. He
Nice.
also said she's not pregnant, by the way. Oh man, well I hope for Emma's sake that it's a girl, bro, so you don't name the poor kid Marty.
Hey Mike, what if you got twin boys? I mean, you gotta have Mike. You gotta have a list of names just in case.
Twin
Just
boys, jeez, oh Lord Almighty.
because
All right, I
choosing
got you.
choosing choosing names is not as easy
It's
as it
super
may
easy.
seem.
I got it for Mike. I'm sure Mike will love this. If you have twin boys, you name them Anakin and Obi Wan. There you go. I think he'll love that.
Do you have a list,
If it's a
Anthony?
girl, we'll be called Winona. I like Winona. Winona's a cool
Oh, we
name.
don't know. Yeah.
What were you saying?
Do you have like a list for like baby names list ready
Me?
or yeah?
No, just because my fiance and I don't want kids. We don't have kids, and we don't really want kids. And obviously, if something happens, we'll figure it out, But we've been pretty wise and careful in that area.
Uh,
And we've avoided the child life, which I'm okay with. Honestly, I got too much shit as it is to deal with, and I'm sure I'd manage, but yeah, I'm alright on that. Q says that his son's name is Liam from Shameless. That's pretty cool, man. And then Mike says that Marty and Emmett or Marty and Bruce, as Emma loves Bruce Campbell, and of course, and you love Bruce Wayne, so I guess that works out.
oh yeah,
Yeah, he loves him some Batman. He loves himself some Batman for sure. But those are cool. Those are actually some solid names. I love the idea of just like an English kid named Marty. I don't know. I don't know a lot of like English people named Marty. I guess there's probably a lot of English people named Martin, but I just never
Oh
hear
yeah.
them call themselves Marty. Um, no baby name list for us at all. Just on that discussion, we came up with 3 names only. Yeah, I always tease Haley about like if we did have kids, like I'm gonna name them like Star Wars names. We'll never do that. She will never. She'll kill me before that's the case. Um, Especially with how elaborate the Star Wars names are, and anything that's like generic names in Star Wars are just too generic. Like I'd never really want to name a kid like Luke or Leia. I love those names,
Yeah.
but like Luke is so generic, in general, like it's just like a general name out there. So it's like, oh, named it my kid Luke after Luke Skywalker. It's like, oh, you could do better than that. But then everything else is so like elaborate with like Anakin or Obi-Wan or Qui-Gon. Like, oh, I'm not gonna name my kid that.
I do know somebody named Anakin. Well, he's the son of this girl who we went together to middle school, and we found each other on Facebook, and I don't know if it's her or her husband that are into Star Wars, but I forgot how many children they have, but I know the son is named Anakin.
I mean, I think that's cool, man. Anytime I've heard that somebody's name is Anakin, or like I think I met somebody one time that their name was like, why am I'm having a brain fart right now? But they told me they had a Star Wars name. I can't remember, but I've seen I've seen definitely a lot of people that are like, oh yeah, like I've even met people that their name is Luke,
Mm-hmm.
and they told me that they were named because their parents like Star Wars, something like that. But I would also thank God that your son, right, for instance, is into martial arts and likes to watch these things with you. Imagine if he did not like martial arts and you named him Jean Claude, and he didn't like doing like any physical activity, and
That's the risk.
by the way, Mike, if you're still in here, we were talking mad smack on Harry Styles earlier. And I know Mike loves Harry Styles.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Mike, are you still there? Oh, that's another name, Mike, for the list. Harry.
I think he would name his son Taylor Swift before he'd name it Harry. I'm just teasing him. I always give Mike a hard time because like I'm mainly into metal music.
Uh-huh.
Like I like pop music. If it's catchy, I'm into it. Whatever. I don't really care. But I mainly listen to a lot of heavy stuff. So when Mike and I talk, he doesn't really listen to heavy stuff. But he listens to like country and pop music, and I just think it's so funny because I never pictured that would be what he's into. I was watching his review recently for the Taylor Swift movie, and he started it off by singing Taylor Swift, and it
Oh,
just
really?
it made me laugh. Yeah, everybody go check out Did You See That's video on the Taylor Swift. First of all, to go give him some love, but also so you can go have a laugh at him.
I haven't seen that video. I'm gonna have to check it out. Bless you. Hey, did you go to see that Taylor Swift concert?
I didn't go. No, I'll probably
Yeah.
maybe like if it's ever on streaming, maybe I'll throw it on.
Uh-huh.
I like a good concert movie.
Mhm.
I like watching live performances that are pro shot and well edited. That the actual artist themselves releases. Because when I was younger, I played a lot of music and I was always performing and stuff. So I used to love just watching like random videos from festivals of different artists, especially metal artists.
Mhm.
But then I would love when they would release their own DVD or their own Blu-ray that was like a really well edited, like pro shot concert, And so, the Taylor Swift one, maybe I'll check it out if it's on something one day. I'm not rushing to the theater to see it. I've seen
Yeah.
so many of those videos of like the
Oh,
audience like
people with
out
their cell
dancing and
phone.
going
Yeah.
crazy. That just sounds terrible to me. And I've seen people make the claim it's like it's a it's a concert movie, so you have to do it. It's a concert. I like watching concert movies, but like, and I listen to a lot of metal, but every time I watch a concert movie, I'm not starting a mosh pit in my living room. You know what I'm saying? Like, I like to sit back and just kind of like listen to it and watch the performance. So, that'll probably be where I end up watching it. Or maybe if it's still playing in theaters and I just have a day that I'm just kind of chilling and I want to go to the theaters to see something, maybe I'll go catch it. But yeah, I'm definitely not rushing to go watch the Taylor Swift
Yeah,
movie.
I know. I haven't seen it. Probably I'm not. But one day I was in the theater. I was in the hallway as I was shooting one of my first reactions, and I was sitting down on the hallway, kind of editing a little bit, and I just heard there were like young voices. I'm assuming they were teenagers, like a bunch of them singing the lyrics. I could hear them singing the lyrics, which I guess is fine. I mean, but I don't know. I mean, that's like a 3 hour concert, or almost 3 hour concert, or something like that.
Right, 3 hours. So which I think is awesome. You know, like I actually
Mhm.
just went here in Central Florida. I went to go see the Jonas Brothers when they came through, and my fiance was really big on them when she was growing up, and I knew the hits. You know, I knew the popular ones that hit the radio.
Mhm.
So I went with her. It was a 3 hour concert as well. It was really good. It was a good time. So I don't mind the length of it, but I don't think I could if I went to a screening and it was just a bunch of like teenage girls up in the front with their cell phones out, just like screaming and singing. It would ruin the whole experience for me. Like I'd rather just be able to like watch
Yeah.
like what the movie. I want to see like the concert for itself and be able to appreciate it because there's already going to be a lot of screaming in the concert movie itself. You know, all the fans that are there in person. I don't need the added screaming of everybody around me.
Hey,
Uh,
how was your audience with well, I don't know if you already saw it in the theater. Five Nights at Freddy's.
so I actually I chose not to go to the theaters for this one because it's on Peacock.
Yeah,
Now,
it's
usually I would go to the theaters on Thursday. That's what I would have gone to the theater to see, as I always go to the movies to see something on Thursday,
Mhm.
typically, whatever's new. Um, So I would have gone to see Five Nights at Freddy's, but I actually got a screening like invite to come for a movie that's going to be hitting Netflix. I think on November 17th, if I'm not mistaken. The movie's called Rustin.
Mhm.
So that was a pretty cool opportunity. So I chose to go do that instead. And then on Friday, I actually went to a horror convention that's here in the area called Spooky Empire. I just kind of went to go walk around. My mom got my fiance and I like a day ticket. Got to go walk around, ran into my tattoo artist who was actually there tattooing,
Mhm.
um, and got to see some actors, which was pretty cool. Like I didn't meet anybody because I didn't have money for like the autographs and the
Yeah.
photo ops or anything, but I was just walking around the booths and like Robert and I could see them. Like there was most of them I was like within 8 feet of, and I was just sitting there staring at them. I saw Kiefer Sutherland, I saw Danielle Harris from the Halloween movies. Um, I saw Robert England. I saw Heather Langenkamp. I saw Alex Vincent, Bill Mosley. I saw the cast of Charmed, like Rose McGowan and some other folks, and then a bunch of just like smaller characters that were like in the Nightmare on Elm Street movies or
Mhm.
the Friday the 13th movies, which was really cool. It was just nice to see those actors. Saw
Mhm.
Jason Patrick was there, like just a bunch of like big names that I was able to like stand like 8 feet away from, which was pretty cool.
So that's like a Comic Con, but like for horror. Is that what it
Yeah,
is?
it was just
Okay.
horror, yeah, so it was, just same kinda thing. It was just all the cosplay walking around was just horror, like,
Nice.
a lot of Terrifier characters like Art the
Oh my
Clown,
goodness.
a lot of Michael Myers, a lot of Freddy Kruegers, you know, stuff like that, and just everybody walking around just, like, with nothing but love for horror, so it was kinda cool. It wasn't, like, super huge, you know, like, I'm used to going to things like Star Wars Celebration that, like, has that Star Wars money behind it and that Disney
Yeah.
budget behind it. So it's they're usually the show floor is ginormous and you can like literally get lost and you have like you have to come for more than one day so you can see everything and stuff. Whereas this we did like we walked around for a couple hours, not even maybe like an hour and a half, and we kind of had seen everything.
Mhm.
Um, but it was a good time, man, and it was cool just to see all those actors up close, man. Like just to, you know, like people you see on screen all the time, like up close. But to answer your original question, yeah, Five Nights at Freddy's. I ended up watching it on Peacock because
Mhm.
I had to work yesterday morning. Got off. I was gonna go to the theater, but I just told my fiance I was like, "Hey, like we've been like out and about. We've been working a lot. Let's just have a nice chill night in.
Yeah.
Got a bottle of tequila. What's it called? Just made some dinner, or we ordered some Chinese food, and then we just
Nice.
watched Five Nights at Freddy's. So yeah, I didn't have like a crazy audience. I saw that it's doing pretty well in theaters, which you know, hey man, I'm all for it, dude. You know, I hope the
Yeah.
movie does well for the creatives. I'll be honest, I still have to edit my review, and I'll probably have that up, like I mentioned earlier, sometime within the next couple days or within the next day or so. But I was disappointed with the movie
Mhm.
overall. I found it to be like really well made in terms of cinematography and lighting and costume design and set design. I thought the animatronics, when they were
Those are
actually
good.
practical, were really cool. I like the Five Nights at Freddy's games. I haven't played them all, but I played the first two. I like the very simplistic kind of creep factor and atmosphere of those games. And I just think that the movie kind of just went in so. Have you seen it?
I've seen it only one time. I may watch it again today. That's gonna depend on my kids. If they
Gotcha.
want to see it, I'll bring them. But because that was the plan for today, I was gonna bring them to do that double feature, the Mummy, and then later the Five Nights at
Probably.
Freddy's. But I think, dude, these kids they take the movies for granted, dude. It annoys me sometimes when they say no to me.
No, I mean I get it, dude. Nowadays, there's so much for kids to do. I was talking to my fiance about that last night. Actually, we were talking about how I don't ever find myself bored anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I think a big part of that is like I remember what it felt like to be bored. You know, when I was a kid, and like I don't know, you rent the movie, that VHS, that Blockbuster, and you already
Yeah.
watched it like 2 times, and now you're just sitting around like you got nothing to do. Or like you can go outside and different things like that. But like now we just have so much, bro. Like a million movies,
Oh,
streaming
yeah.
services, video games, places you can go, things you can do. You can do a million things on your phone. You know, like
Yeah.
it's kind of crazy. So I feel like kids nowadays just like their attention spans all over the place. So yeah, it
It
tends
is.
to be like that kind of thing.
Hey, is that a I don't know if you put it on Instagram, because I feel like I saw it before, but I don't know if it's my imagination or maybe you did. Is that a Luffy tattoo, like a
Yeah,
One
right
Piece?
here. I have the. Let me see if I can. I can really. It's
Okay, okay, okay. Did you put it on Instagram or?
yeah, it's on Instagram. I think I posted
Okay,
about it. Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
okay, okay, okay. Cool, that's
Yeah, I
cool.
really love that one. I wanted to. I purposely got these two. Like it's kind of funny. I didn't mean to get two skulls right next to each other,
Uh huh.
but this one is the Death Bat logo from Avenged Sevenfold, my favorite band, and then of course the One Piece
The One
Jolly
Piece.
Roger. But the Avenged Sevenfold one, you typically see that logo in more
Mm-hmm.
of a realistic look, and then the Jolly Rogers, of course, more cartoony because of the anime. So I specifically went to two different artists that do two different styles, and I wanted to flip the styles in a way. I
Yeah.
wanted to make the Avenged Sevenfold one more cartoony, and I wanted to make the what's it called, the One Piece one, a little bit more realistic. So
Yeah, because the
yeah,
one at the bottom, I've seen it on T-shirts.
right, right, yeah.
Mhm.
That band's huge. They have
Yeah.
tons and tons of merch and stuff like that. But yeah, man, I want to get more, man. I want to finish my Star Wars sleeve. I got Darth Maul there in progress.
Oh yeah, yeah. I like that more. Yeah.
I
Oh
got
yeah, I see. Okay.
I got
Oh,
Vader on this side, and I got Bosk in here, and
so
then
how
Boba
how do,
Fett here.
how does that work? Like you just go as you can, like.
Yeah, yeah. It's kind of just like when I have the money. Thankfully, I've got a good relationship with my artist now. He
Mhm.
tattooed my calf as well. There's a video you can find on my Instagram of
I
like
think
my full.
I've seen. Yeah, you got a. What's the name of the purple?
I got a
Stitch.
Yeah, well, I got Stitch riding on top of Venom, who's next to Chucky, and then
Chucky. Yeah.
um, Jack Skellington and the Joker. And we're gonna do the rest of the leg as well. We're gonna do my knee and up. But after we finish the calf, I told him I wanted to start my Star Wars sleeve, so we did the outline, and then it's just kind of been like slowly going back when I can get some coloring done. It's it's an expensive process for sure, and something that's more of a treat for myself than it is
Mhm.
like something I can do all the time, But either way, it's something I definitely want to do more of. Really quickly, I noticed that Mike asked the question: if *Malignant* could be a remade into a good movie, who would you want to direct it? I can't
Um.
remember. Are you a fan of *Malignant*?
Just to answer Mike, who if Malignant could be remade into a good movie, that's impossible, Mike. It is already a good movie. Thank you kindly.
Oh, you know what? I've never seen *Malignant*. I still haven't seen it, but from what I hear about it,
Yeah.
seems like a movie I'd like. I've heard it's like very campy and it knows what it is and it's pretty
Yeah.
stupid. And I love campy horror. I think a lot of times people don't always appreciate campy horror. Like
That's
that for
Mike.
me is
Mike, if you're there, you're one of them. You're one of them.
I mean my favorite horror character is Chucky. I have Chucky tattooed on my leg,
Yeah.
I just when I went to the horror convention the other day, I wore a Chucky shirt. Like Chucky's my favorite. And I was watching the latest episode of the Chucky TV show right before we started the stream,
Uh huh.
and I just love the camp, man. I love horror that just does not take itself seriously at all. I also saw Mike is in here saying Perez better not be hating on T Swift. Listen, she's talented. She's a good-looking woman that has a good voice, but that's about where it ends for me. I like a couple of the songs here and there. Like, I got a couple on my playlist that come on. I got like guilty pleasures for, but you ain't gonna catch me paying $7 million to go see Taylor Swift. It's just not gonna happen. Um,
Yeah, Malignant. That's a joke that we have, Mike and I have.
right. I
He
know I've seen you
hates
guys
the
comment
movie.
about it before.
Yeah, he doesn't like the movie at all. Dude, that movie made it in my top 10 that year, and I was so surprised because I went to see it like thinking that I wasn't gonna like it because the trailer didn't do it for me. I went to watch it just because I wanted to watch it, and I was so surprised. I liked it. I bought a digital copy in 4K. I bought the poster over there. I framed it, dude. It was pretty cool. Well, I don't know, but yeah, he didn't like it at all.
Yeah, I gotta check that one out for sure. It's definitely been on my list. But I do remember seeing you guys comment on each other's videos about Malignant, which is pretty hilarious, man. But hey, man, listen, I'm looking at the time, and unfortunately, I do have to work today, which sucks, man. But this has been a blast, man. Loved having you on, just talking to movies and martial arts and action figures, hot toys, all this kind of crazy stuff, man. It's been a blast. Again, I just want to open the floor to you to just say anything that you want to plug. Again, anybody who is interested in checking out Cinematics YouTube channel, you can find the link to it down below in the description box. Any final words on your end, my friend?
No, I mean, thank you, I mean, for having me. This is our first live, at least one-on-one. I think we went live before, and
Right, yeah, for WandaVision with
for
the
one
crew.
with a crew. And yeah, I don't have anything coming up other than probably like like I said earlier, for the Mummy, I'm gonna probably do like a quick first impression, and then I got the Out for Justice movie trailer with my son Jean Claude, and then I got an unboxing video coming up uh, very soon. And yeah, that's what I got this week. We got nothing in theaters on Thursday. I don't think my theater is playing anything.
I hope they pop something in there for you. I have tickets this Thursday for the Marsh King's Daughter. It's a new movie that's coming out with Daisy Ridley, of course, from Star Wars,
Mhm.
and Ben Mendelsohn, also from Star Wars, but of course, from a lot of other things like Captain Marvel and Secret Invasion and stuff
Is
like
that an
that.
early screening or no?
No. It's just I just saw that they I think it starts its wide release this Thursday, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh,
So
okay.
I just got normal tickets for that.
I'm gonna have to double check my theater because I know like the Mummy they're playing it today and then they're gonna repeat it on Thursday, I think. And I
Got
I,
you.
I didn't see anything else. I'm gonna sometimes they just add it like 2 days before.
Yeah, I've noticed like there was a couple of weeks ago where I was waiting. I was literally like 2 or 3 days before the Thursday, and they didn't put add any movie times, and I was just like, bro, I'm trying to lock down my tickets. Like, what do we got playing this Thursday? Eventually they did, but they took a long time. So yeah, sometimes
Mhm.
theaters are a little bit delayed on that. But hopefully you guys get the I don't know what else is coming out. I think there's something else, but I'm gonna go see the Marsh King's Daughter for sure.
Mhm. And since we're live, last year I went live, and I would love to have you.
Yeah, man. Anytime, dude.
Hopefully this year, because I think last year it didn't work, but I went live last year for the top 10 of the year. So I think it was Blacktastic and Jacob. I think Q reviews, maybe Rashad. I'm trying to remember, but I would like to have you. So I mean, I'll give you details later because still like what is almost November, almost October. No, what the
Yeah,
heck?
man.
No, almost
Let's make it
November.
happen.
Almost
Yeah, no,
November.
it's hard. It's crazy how quick October left, bro. October like came and went like nothing. But yeah, man, absolutely, dude. Anytime you just hit me up, you know how to reach me, and we'll set up a time and a date, and I'll be happy to join you on a live stream. But
That'll be cool.
yeah, man, thank you so much again for joining me. I really appreciate it. And again, everybody, you guys can find a link to his channel down below in the description box. Go give him some love. Let him know I sent you. Go check out all the various cool things he's got going on over there. And all right, guys, we'll see you guys in the next one.
Thank you,
Bye.
guys. Thank